question for me. Regardless of purpose and intent, I find it impossible to follow the herd. Conventional wisdom to me is an absurd notion. Many of you will not concur with me. Some will dismiss, others will rise against it. If you don't agree with me, raise your hand and get in line. I am the Contrarian, and this is my world.
A cell phone with a water-based display, a smartphone that snaps and transforms into a smartwatch, a phone with a dual screen, a battery that lasts 4 weeks, translucent tactile keyboards that actually snap out of a smartphone, a phone that can bend, fold and roll, contact lens phones, gold tooth phones, earring phones. Sounds amazing, right? Except none of them exist. These are all concept phone ideas.
Every few days, a new concept phone rattles web pages, makes headlines and brings hope to millions of consumers. People are like shocked. They really love it. Their jaws drop. They're ready to plonk down their money. But a techie like me, I always have my doubts. Every new concept phone video that hits the street amuses me no end. I mean, have you ever really seen these videos in detail? Do you really think that in a couple of years from now, you'll be able to fold your smartphone, keep it in your wallet, open it up, it becomes a laptop, or talk to someone just by putting your hand, I mean, it's embedded apparently, put your hand here and you can talk, change the shape of your phone at will. I mean, you can make it into a circle, a ball, roll it up. Let me tell you, all of these are literally just that, pipe dreams, fantastic notions, fanciful and impossible plans that may never ever see the light of day.
I think the ideology behind coming up with a concept phone is they really want to test out and showcase what they can do with future technologies. It's not really a production ready phone. They're taking a look at the kind of trends that the technology, the smartphone industry will take over the next 3 to 4, maybe even 5 years.
It's not always that the concept phones or products come from manufacturers. It's also artists, or third parties who design concept devices. And that's more of, like running wild in terms of your ideas and, not really feasible in at least 90% of the cases. So it's more of being absolutely liberal with your thoughts and your ideas and all that. So I don't think that really makes sense in terms of expecting that this is what will be the final product.
Sure, concept phones give designers all the freedom in the world to be ultra creative. Some of these phones look fantastic on paper and even better in video. But this is also the first noticeable flaw with these phones. Concept smartphones are over-designed and underutilized. Most design seems to lack any thought for creating a more functional, useful and sustainable product. It's all about creating news with something flashy and over the top. While a change in form factor is much needed, it's not the only thing missing from current generation phones. As for concept phone makers, some of them are absolutely missing the point.
People are not actually investing or betting their companies on new technology or disruptive technologies because they want to play it safe, obviously to protect their market share or to survive this hyper-competitive phase right now. It's always a good idea for a company to come up with new concepts, but the problem is there's a lot of, in big organization, because it's too structured and there's a lot of disconnect, it never makes it to manufacturing or market or things like that.
Now, there's good reason behind the fact that any of these future concept phones, be it a Nokia, BlackBerry, Samsung, Apple, Nexus, has never hit the market till date. There are videos of concept phones that date 10 years back. Check them out. Do a search. Not a single feature from those 10 years back videos has made it to market till today. So much so that some of these concepts are biting the dust even before an attempt was made to manufacture them. Let's be honest, phones like these would cost a bomb. These babies will probably not even leave you with parking change. This is just creativity getting the best of people, and more importantly, the need to make news, the need to get more people to come to their website or read their magazine.
If you're looking at a company which is not into making phones, giving you a concept design, obviously you have to take it with a pinch of salt. In fact, a little more than that, because they are just trying to, use their fantasies to kind of make a concept device. Maybe it looks good, maybe yes, it talks about a nice big only screen phone where there's no bezel and all that. But in reality, vendors are struggling to make that. So it's nice to design one, when you're not actually going to make it. But if you're going to make it, you'll realize that it's not going to be easy to make a device which looks so nice and is very futuristic and fancy, because you need a lot of money and time to actually convert a concept into reality.
Before developing any concept phone, what people generally need to understand is what problem they are solving of the consumer, whether it's making their life easier, whether it's reducing the cost, making it more affordable.
We can already do 1,000,001 things with our smartphones. Things we don't have and very critically need is what concept phones need to reflect. What we really need is to break away from the sea of sameness. Not expensive but cheaper phones, better batteries built in, stronger, tougher bodies that can withstand anything we throw at it, easier content sharing, more storage, better battery, better form factor, better everything. Sliding screens, revolving cameras, bendable displays. These sound great, look amazing, but they're not the solution to our current problems. These problems which are much larger and much more complicated. Most of these phones are just imagination running wild, with no basis in reality or current technology capability.
I don't think these products are designed really from a profit-making perspective. Getting consumers interested and gauging the kind of feedback that they get in terms of specific technologies. It's more of a showcase of individual technologies which all of them combine to make a phone. It's more to do with that, to get consumers excited about what the future might hold, but may not necessarily be in that form.
The biggest problem with concept phones is that they make you start thinking that has to be your next phone, that your next phone must have all those features. And when it doesn't come, then the current crop of state-of-the-art phones start to look terrible and very outdated. Innovation in smartphones cannot be limited to ill-designed concepts, ideas that are constrained by technology, fantasies of virtual futurists. And one such virtual futurist is waiting for you on the other side of the break. Now, this is a guy who's designed his own ultra-cool concept phone. As for me, I'm all ready to bring the heat on to this guy. There's such a huge objection in my mind that I'm going to just throw myself right in. We've been seeing these kind of concept phone videos for 10 to 15 years. These are not the next evolutionary step. These are 5 generation to 10 generations removed.
So when it comes to concept devices, there are some things which are too futuristic, which might be coming in the next 10 or 15 years. So would you rate
this, what you've done, as something along the lines of that?
Yes, you can see this device practically in the next 2 or 3 years. That's
what really?
Right.
All are concept, all are beta, all are being tried out. Not even one of them is ready for consumer use. Okay? How can this be in the next 2 years?
As you said, on the contrary, all the materials for making a flexible phone are available and are in the production stage.
In concept stage.
Production stage.
I am the Contrarian, and this is my world.
Presented by Chroma, the electronics megastore, and ChromaRetail.com, the 24/7 store.
Primetime television just turned into big-time entertainment. Mazadar Mondays, Indu Mirani turns the lens on India's finest filmmakers on the boss dialogues.
I'm happier when not too many people recognize me.
Taza Tuesdays, Mihir Joshi strikes a chord with the grooviest musical acts in the country on The MJ Show.
When you go to the bigger shows and if you come out successful, you're just like,
Life is stranger than fiction, you bet. Watch the edgiest documentaries on Wawa Wednesdays.
Whatever you see in this world is illusion.
Fatapat Thursday brings you the latest and greatest from the hottest new genre in filmmaking.
When will you understand कि 2 मिनट वाली मैगी लफ्ज़ नहीं काम कर?
And take a front row seat on Filmy Fridays as Mayank and Pahad review the latest blockbuster release.
यहाँ सब कुछ double मिलेगा.
Every weekday at 9 p.m. on NDTV Prime, entertainment gets redefined.
On NDTV Prime in association with Micromax.
एक्टर बनने का सपना मैंने यही देखा था. बैंड बज गई थी.
मिलने मीलों दूर बुलावे ना मिले तो नींद ना आवे सपने हैं क्या नाच नचावे.
मीलों कसरत करने के बाद मुझे मेरा सपना दिखता था. बड़ा पर्दा. लेकिन आपको तो बस टच करना है. स्पाइस 506 स्मार्टफोन. बड़ा LCD स्क्रीन है. HD क्वालिटी की पिक्चर है. तो देखिए बड़े बड़े सपने बड़े पर्दे पर. स्पाइस 506 मिलाए सपनों से.
Couldn't take the stairs? How hard can it be to kill 10 men?
courageous, but insane.
तुम मेरी दुनिया सजाती हो, कभी नखरे उठाती हो, घर को घर बनाती हो, घर को
हम सिर्फ घर बनाते हैं, आप उसमें खुशियां बसाते हैं। सुपरटेक।
This malnutrition is now such an acute issue, it's actually come to our doorstep.
CII and GAIN presents Fortification, leading the way to a nourished India.
I think we need to come to some conclusion about what those root causes are.
Saturday, August 23 at noon, only on NDTV Prime. Chroma presents The Perfect Body, built by Tech, tomorrow at 8 p.m. on NDTV Prime.
Presented by Chroma, the electronics megastore, and ChromaRetail.com, the 24/7 store.
Right now, you could be zipping down a highway, leaving the grind behind. You could be 1 mile closer to a heaven you never knew. Right now, you could be rediscovering a beaten path. Right now, you could be defying gravity. Right now, you could be conversing in a language you don't know. Right now is all you need to live a lifetime. Hyundai presents The Getaway. Friday at 8:30 p.m. on NDTV Prime.
I am the Contrarian, and this is my world.
Although concept devices are creative visualizations, they definitely offer a perspective on the devices that are coming in future.
All right, we are in the world of concept phones, future phones that will absolutely blow your socks off. Phones that you wrap around your wrist, phones that have a heart rate sensor, phones that bend, you can roll them up and take them with you. And the best part of it, for the last 10 to 15 years, the same concepts have been promised but not implemented. Which of you can actually fold a phone around your wrist right now? 10 years to 15 years back, we'd seen the Nokia morph and half a dozen other phones. Today, we're still going with the same thing. And the biggest problem with these flights of fantasy is that they completely and totally corrupt the current generation of products. People start fantasizing about the fact that their phone, why can't I wrap it around my wrist right now? When they buy their next phone, it still can't wrap around their wrist. And therefore, a great amount of disappointment takes place. But here, with me today, is a person who says, none of this is flights of fantasy. Right. This is very much about to happen. First, tell me, why do you people do concept phone videos and all these kind of things? What's the purpose?
The purpose of doing a concept phone is to showcase people what all technologies are available, what the evolutionary step in mobile phones or smartphones would be, and how the devices would look in the future. Okay. What kind of functionality that they can expect from these devices, what benefits that they'll have on their lifestyle and all. This is what we try to project through this.
Okay, so I usually, you know, when you were with me on the show earlier, I said I'll give you a minute and a half, but there's such a huge objection in my mind that I'm going to just throw myself in. That's the exact problem that I just said, right? When you say that concept phone videos and pictures and everything else are done to show people the next evolutionary step, next thing that they should. We've been seeing these kind of concept phone videos for 10 to 15 years. These are not the next evolutionary step. These are 5 generation to 10 generations removed. Why do I want to be teased today for something I may not wear for 10 years or use for 10 years?
Okay, so when it comes to concept devices, there are some things which are too futuristic, which might be coming in the next 10 or 15 years.
So would you rate this, what you've done, as something along the lines of that?
Yes, you can see this device practically in the next 2 or 3 years. That's what our projection is.
Can I start from there?
Sure, definitely.
So let's start from the biggest problem I have today. Right. Of course, we are about to get into flexible screens, right? But flexible batteries, flexible PCBs, flexible chips, and flexible materials that actually have the entire phone, cased around.
Right.
Every part of that is about to be available.
Right.
All are concept, all are beta, all are being tried out. Not even one of them is ready for consumer use. Okay? How can this be in the next 2 years?
As you said, on the contrary, all the materials for making a flexible phone are available and are in the production stage.
In concept stage.
Production stage.
Whenever we, like we spoke about why you people do these kind of concept things. Obviously, this is for eyeballs, for you to really get people to take a look at it. And of course, it's a great way to tease the future. Of course, aspirational buying and aspirational thoughts are fantastic.
Right.
But why throw in things that are already disastrous? For instance, if I can take you through one or two of the other things.
Sure.
A heart rate sensor at the back. Well, one or two phones already have it. Some fitness bands already have it. They are all epic disasters.
Right.
The amalgamation of wearable technology with non-wearable technology is a potential for a true disaster, right? If a phone has a heart rate sensor at the back,
right?
So what am I supposed to do? I'm going for a run. I full stop myself. I wait. I open my phone. I go to the app that is the right one.
Right.
I then put my finger out there, and about 30 seconds later, I know that my heart rate 2 minutes back
was this.
No, isn't. It's what it is right now.
Right.
So how is this a concept of the future? This is you people portraying something which is like, acha, it's not such a cool video. Let's add one or two things. Cheap though, I think that's the word.
So learning from the mistakes, what common manufacturers, I'll say, are doing. So we are basically combining the benefits of a wearable and a smartphone in a single device. So no longer you have to take the data from the wearable and put it in a smartphone and get the results out of it. The smartphone is on your wrist. So while running also you can check your heartbeat.
This amalgamation of wearable with phone is a very difficult one to really pull off. So this can't be a 5-inch phone according to me. You're saying it is. So again,
it's up to the manufacturers. If they plan to make something around it, they might reduce the screen size or something, make it more comfortable. But yes, that's the idea.
The ecosystem around us today, the generation that is buying something today, right, looks at a video like this and truly hates what they just bought. What happens with this? Because this is a flight of fantasy. I mean, while you sit here and say 2016, 2017, it will happen, there's no guarantee it will, right?
So this video is not just for the audience. This is for the companies also. This is for the designers also, the design institutions who are actually working on the phone designs. And this design is based on the inputs that we got from several of our readers and visitors who come on our website and tell us that this is what they want from our device, from a device. So this actually is a hint for the designers to make something on similar lines what people actually want.
Now let's get down to what you've portrayed here. The big three salient features are, it has a Bluetooth headset built in.
Right.
There are phones that already have it. A heart rate sensor built in, which of course if you put it on your wrist, it's pure wearable. And the third is it actually bends.
Right.
Okay. That's pretty much it. I mean, in a world where you could have examined such beautiful things into the future, because like I said, it's only you fantasizing, why not others?
Because as we said, that we tried to make this concept as close to reality as possible and make it something which can be available in the next 2 or 3 years.
But what's so new about any of the three?
10 to 15 years ago, when the Nokia Morph concept actually came out, it was a vision for the future, that this technology, this kind of a device might be there in the next 10, 15 years. But now the technology is available, materials are available, and we are trying to assemble all those technologies and all those features that can be included in a smartphone and can be presented in the near future.
No, so that's what I'm saying. So that's what they did.
Right.
That's what you're doing. And 10 to 15 years have passed. So isn't this now time for you to say, that's what they did 15 years back. 15 years back, to think of a bendable phone was truly inspiring.
Right.
Why aren't you doing something for the next 15 years? Why something that you think will be coming out only right now that other people have already predicted? What's the big deal here?
The big deal is that to present something which is achievable, which is not too futuristic for them. Being a concept, we agree that this is something which will come in the future. But yes, we want to show the people what actually is achievable, not something too futuristic, which they'll keep on thinking, as you said, that they'll start hating their devices with.
But don't you think that's actually true? I mean, if you see, and let's switch from mobile phones to maybe cars. You see a concept car at one of these auto fairs,
right?
And you come back after you walked through the entire fair, you come back to your car, it looks really ugly. I mean, you start hating that car that you were in love with a few minutes back.
Yeah.
Aren't you doing the same thing? You're taking away the thrill of current technology just for a few eyeballs in your website.
See, we are not taking away the thrill. We are just adding a little more punch to it. We are making it a little more challenging for the companies to give us devices that actually are possible today, which they are holding back.
Forget this barrier of fantasy only controlled by current technology.
Right.
Now, I'm throwing that barrier away, okay? If you could today come up with a video that truly, truly is a fantastic leap of faith and technology.
Right.
Forget all this bendable stuff. You're saying it's in 2 years.
Right.
Describe to me something, and this is what I'm leaving you with at the end. I really want everybody out there, our audience of the Contrarian, to really think, is that our future? Describe a phone to me that has no barriers of current technology to stop it. What would it be?
So a classic case example would be from Google's Project Ara, which is a modular phone.
Right.
I mean, you want to change the chipset? Change it. You want to change the Bluetooth module?
Isn't that closer to reality than yours?
That's not actually, because see, there the integrity between different components is the bigger issue. Somebody might want an NVIDIA chipset on a Windows 8 platform. That's not possible.
But what you're doing is you're putting a barrier where none actually exist. You don't need to give people that choices. So the company that takes out the modular phone also takes out modular components. I mean, look at the PC market.
Right.
If you had been the person who had started off with assembling of PCs, this whole market would have been destroyed because, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to give this processor to that. The AMDs and the Intels all remained, and they moved to making sure everything was compatible.
No, but the problem here is that smartphone ecosystem, as we'll put it, is very enclosed. So everything is basically optimized or developed for a particular chipset so that the people get the best possible performance on that.
Till today, design of almost any electronic device has been restricted because of one thing. Why does a notebook look like a notebook? A laptop look like a laptop? A tablet look like a tablet? And a smartphone look like that? Why are those the form factors? Because the screen has always been inflexible, rigid.
Right.
Once the screen is not rigid anymore, you can design the phone any which way you like. The big question is, if that's not the restriction anymore, then what will a phone look like? You took the flexibility of the screen and the phone, but still made it look like an old grandfather phone. Why?
Hey, it's not an old grandfather phone. We are offering utility to the users. You can use it as a smartwatch.
But when you're not restricted to that form factor anymore, why make it like that? Isn't the next great jump the destruction of this form factor, because I'm no longer restricted to have a screen which is encased around a bezel, which has a battery at the back, which has a cover at the back. Why should I be restricted to that? I can go completely flexible. I have no limits.
Right.
So why not change the form factor dramatically? Believe me, you wouldn't have needed an American accent. You wouldn't have needed anything else. You would have got more eyeballs than you would have ever got if you'd said the first ever non-phone looking form factor, because the flexibility is there.
But that would have actually been a market disruptor at that time.
So is that a bad thing? A market disruptor today is the greatest two words put together.
So if today, rather than a smartphone, I give you a squarish piece of display.
See, now you're being restrictive.
Yeah.
Why should it be a square? Why should it be a
any
rectangle?
other design?
Exactly.
Any other design. Would you be comfortable using it?
It could be a cylinder.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be a cylinder from which I just pull my phone out, or it could be two completely different components that I put together, or I fold it out and it becomes a tablet. I fold it out further, it becomes a laptop. So many things to talk about.
Right.
And you just went with the same form factor as before.
Yeah, because we are adding utility to that same form factor. We are improving. We are improving on that same design. We are not changing it dramatically, because that's what people want. They want their same smartphone form factor, their same smartphone to do so much more.
All right, that then is Contrarian for this time. So now remember, like I said, when all the reasons why your current technology is the way as it is blown away, is no longer a restriction, and wouldn't it be amazing to think that the next generation, the next cycle of technology, whether it's 2017 or 2020, like I said, just imagine how different it's all going to be. For me, it's going to be a device which is a single device, which is why I say the tablet and notebook market may already be dead. Your phone will turn into a tablet, your tablet into a notebook, and some people say your notebook into a TV. Well, that may take a little while. We'll see you next week on The Contrarian. Thanks a lot. Thank you.